So you made it. And the difference between you and everybody else that's not in this room today is you were willing to do whatever it was to get here in the room. Congratulations. That you found out the secret to the business. If you were going to get to, 100 PV shy of your goal and then place your 100 PV order to get yourself there, you're not in the room today. It's interesting how the business always works when you start, of course, with a goal in mind, and we bought our atmospheres at the beginning of the month and decided whatever we were going to do, we were going to make sure we got ourselves there. And Rover Dornan, our pooch, was on CEP more than once, and also bought quite a bit of dog food in our qualification months. But it's fun. And so really it is congratulations, because you make a goal the first time fake, and then the next month or two you actually make the goal. It's kind of funny, but every goal is that way. You make Leaders Club, but you don't actually make Leaders Club. You whoop it up and get to Leaders Club, and then the next month you actually make Leaders Club. Then you make ELC, but you don't actually make ELC because you're nowhere near the volume or the vitals you need to be ELC. But then the next month you back it up and you make ELC. So that's sort of your progression in the business. If this is your first time making a goal and feeling like a fraud, welcome to the club. You'll feel like it a lot more. Okay? So it's how it is. And you're standing here on stage going, I didn't really make Leaders Club. Yeah, you did. You made it the same way all of us did. The kid made it the same way you did. Bought an atmosphere. So congratulations. And, we've got great things that we could talk about in this room, because you've had to do something to qualify to be here. This is always my favorite room of people to talk to, because whatever it is, whether it be 10 plus or Leaders Club or something like that you have to do to qualify to be in a room like this, you've done something and you found out the secret to the business. Everybody always wonders. We have this quite fast-growing team. I was chatting with some of the executive platinums about this guy. He went from sign up to executive platinum in about 10 months. Which is pretty amazing. I mean, just from registration to that, I know people in Australia have that happen every 15 minutes. We always gag at the stories you get over here. We're like, for us, this was our humble little story of somebody that did that, and we were excited about it. They're a young couple, but they really grew super fast. I mean, they put, the very first meeting they had, they put 13 couples in the business. The second meeting that same week, they put another 14 in the business that week, and they had 27 couples in their business in about a week and a half. And then just kept growing and great things happening, and they're exploding growth. They went executive platinum in 10 months, and everybody is wanting to know the secret, right? As always happens when somebody grows fast. And it's funny because people come up to me and go, wow, I mean, what are they doing? It's amazing how they're growing. And I'm like, working, right? They're doing the business. That's all they're doing. It's nothing earth shattering. It's not shocking. It's like, what are they doing? Work. They're working, and most of the people are wondering what the secret is instead of working. Because that's what I did. I was like, wow, look at all those people growing fast. I wonder what they're doing. I don't know, showing the plan? There's a concept. Sorry, I'm a little sarcastic this morning. I apologize. But I mean, it's true, because everybody wonders what the secret is, and they're looking for, is it talent? That doesn't have anything to do with it. It doesn't have to do with how much money he has or how much education he has or any of those things. You know what it really was? And I hope this for you sooner rather than later, if you're not there yet. When I first showed him the plan and I talked to him about the business and what it could provide, and I got him and his wife to buy into what this thing really was, when we got them there and we got them to buy into it, he sat down with me and he said, don't sugarcoat it. Tell me exactly what I need to do to make money in this. Tell me exactly. Because he didn't have the luxury of playing around with it. He worked 70 to 80 hours a week. He has 3 kids under 6 and a multi-million-dollar house on the beach that he's got to maintain. I mean, this guy is busy. Now, you talk to people that are like, I'm so busy. Because they want you to know that they are actually the busiest person on the face of the planet. Okay, this guy actually was busy. Most of the people that tell me that, they work like 4 hours a week, and they have no kids, and they're so busy. Which, of course, that implies that you are not busy, right? They're like, no, you don't understand. I don't think you could possibly fathom how busy I am. You are not busy, but I am busy. So he actually was busy, okay? And he had all this stuff going on, and he didn't have the luxury of not following a system. He said, you tell me exactly what I need to do not sugarcoat it, and I will do it. So few people, now, a lot of people tell me that. A lot of people sit down and go, tell me exactly what I need to do, and I tell them they do nothing. I'm like, well, that was a waste of time. But anyway, he said, tell me exactly what I need to do and I'll do it. And it's amazing to me how all he did was ask me about the system. I sat down and told him core, right? I said, you got to show 15 minimum, 30 plans if you really want to grow fast, right? I said, you got to get on the CEP program. You got to come to every meeting, not the convenient meetings, not the ones that are on when there's, nothing else going on, not the ones where, we got our kids' recital that day. You got to be at every meeting. You got to do 150 PV a month. You got, all these things. And I said, and you can't negotiate on any of them. And if you do that for 6 to 12 months, you'll be set. I mean, you're going to grow. And then, much to my surprise, he actually did it. And then what's funny is I've had that talk with every single solitary person in my group, most of whom didn't do it. And then they all look around going, I wonder what he did. I'm like, core. It's like on every CD. And we come to the leaders meetings hoping we're going to find some new nugget or pearl of wisdom that's going to skyrocket us to the next level. And us boring speakers get up here and say, no, there's no secret. It's just work or not work, right? And work for a consistent period of time. I think the number one thing that did, to grow our business once we got past Leaders Club and all those things and kept moving on, is we were consistent. We did something every day. Every day. I can't tell you the amount of distractions we've had over the last 5 years, good and bad. We've had kids. We've had, 2 kids, both in months where we qualified Emerald and Diamond. We had our wedding was the same month we qualified Sapphire, and our honeymoon and all that, which we, by the way, this may sound a little dysfunctional to you, but we went on like a 2-day honeymoon the day after we got married and postponed our honeymoon, our actual honeymoon, until the beginning of the next month. Because it was end of the month and we didn't want to be gone over the end of the month, even on our honeymoon. Now, that may sound sick to you, but we've had lots and lots of honeymoons since then that we haven't had to worry about it. And we knew that wasn't the last one we were going to take. Right? Remember, you're only postponing. You're not giving up. You're only postponing. Big difference. We knew we'd get lots of trips together. For the rest of our lives, we would be traveling the world because of the business we were building. Right? So we knew we weren't giving it up forever. We knew, hey, we can go for a couple days down on a little honeymoon, and then we'll take the week-long one and go, have fun somewhere after the beginning of the month. Why? Because this is our career. Now, we did that. We were platinums. We weren't diamonds then. We were platinums then. That's why we are diamonds now. Because we thought of the business as a career, as something that was really going to move us forward. Now, what we have to be careful of in this room, right, or those of us who have groups that are coming into the next room, is that you don't make people feel like this right now, right? See, you got to get them to buy into it, not tell them they should. You're not, if they say, well, I don't know if I can go to that meeting because my daughter's got a piano recital, you don't say, oh, you moron, you're not committed. Get over it and They're making $8 from this thing, right? So it's a little hard to be like, hey, moron, you should skip your daughter's recital and come to this meeting or else you're not committed. Okay, I mean, that's one approach. Probably not going to see them again, right? But that's one approach. But right now, their kids are what's important and all that stuff that should be important. It's up to us to gently pull them along, not push them off the cliff and tell them they're idiots if they don't get it like we do. See, because if you've done enough to get 10 plus in this room or to go Leaders Club to be in this room or whatever, you get it. Right? Certainly to a degree, you understand that you want to be in the smaller meeting, that you want to do the things that it takes to be in these smaller meetings, so that's great. Now the art comes in getting others to feel the same way. See, if you haven't gone Leaders Club yet and you're in this room, that of course is your goal. Right? I mean, that of course, that's the next logical step for you to take is to finish Leaders Club. Now, if you have gone Leaders Club, then your only existence from now on becomes helping other people go Leaders Club. Now, how do you do that? You don't just give them a Leaders Club goal and hope they make it, right? You get them, and this is where the art comes in the business. You get them to buy into the Leaders Club goal because they will move, you guys have seen it, they will move 600 or 700 points themselves if they've bought into the Leaders Club goal because they are calling their mom and sister and brother and trying to sell them an eSpring and do all that stuff to get them to Leaders Club. If it's your goal, then you're calling their mom or showing up at their grandma's house at 3 o'clock in the morning to sell them excess or whatever. That doesn't work as well because they have the relationships. You see how it's so much of a people thing? It's about getting them to buy into it because they realize how much higher of a chance they have of going to the higher pin levels by just making Leaders Club. If only 10% or so of the people actually make it, but then a gigantic percentage of them be part of the 10%.
Right? You want them to really see why it would be important to be part of that smaller group for their benefit, not for yours, not because you want to break another leaders club, but because if they have any chance of making any significant money in this business at all, the first step is going to be leaders club. So if you can get good at the art of getting them to buy into that goal themselves, they will sell the tickets to get here. They will sell the products to get the pin done. They'll get the CEP, right? They'll strong arm their brother, hold a gun to his head, whatever, and say, listen, you're getting on CEP, so's the dog and the cat and grandma, because I'm going to be at that meeting. But if it's you trying to do it, you don't have the relationships with their people like they do. See how it broke, many, many leaders clubs in between weekends, and how we upped our function numbers is we helped, much like everybody in this room has done to get 10 plus here, we helped people become the promoters, right? This is a big difference. Most people in this business spend their whole time getting promoted to instead of doing the promoting. And that's when ownership takes place, is when you become the promoter, not the promotee. Right? If you're the one always having to get the calls about the new product that's coming out, if you're the one always having to get the calls about the meeting and then just buying your ticket, if you're the one having to get found by your upline here at the weekend to make sure you put your ticket in the drawing thing, if you're always being the one getting promoted to, you don't make any money. You make money when you become the promoter. Right? And that's how you get multiplication and duplication, is when you get somebody to buy into getting 10 people at the weekend, right? Then that's when the difference takes place, because it's not just you buying your ticket, it's you helping somebody get a vision for 10 people at the weekend, and that's how you get multiplication. Because remember, they're the ones with the relationships with those people. They're the ones who can help more people get to the weekend. And the minute you become the promoter instead of the promotee, you start making money from this thing. Because now it becomes you looking down at your group and seeing, okay, where could I promote more products? Where could I promote more functions? Where could I promote CEP? Not just being the one getting on it, but being the one doing the promoting. And there's a difference between giving information and promoting. A lot of people give information. I hear it all the time at the preview. They'll say something at the end of the preview like, I'll hear somebody in the corner saying, yes, and there's a BDS this weekend on Saturday, and Guy Wilson is speaking. Well, what does that mean? They don't know who Guy Wilson is. They don't know what a BDS is. That's just information. That's like saying there's an Italian restaurant on Main Street. What does that mean? Is it good? Is it horrible? Do you find hair in your food? I mean, what? There's right, and you get it, and everybody laughs, and they go, yeah, that's funny, and then that's how they promote the weekend. There's a weekend seminar. What? Okay, so what does that mean? There's a weekend seminar. So when you're promoting, you're giving them the understanding of why they would want to be at that meeting, what that meeting is going to do for them, and be careful. We don't want to launch into this like it's a life-changing experience and cry at the table and whatever. That's a little off-putting potentially. Tell them why, from a business standpoint, it would make sense for them, and why in your posture, not necessarily what you say, but in your posture you say and you communicate, I can't tell you in good conscience we can really help you make significant money from this business without being at the meeting. See, it still leaves the decision up to them, but you've kind of told them, look, I can't tell you I've seen anybody really make significant money from this thing without being at the functions. You've said you want to make money from it. I got to tell you got to be there. See, there's a difference between that and you're an idiot if you're not there, or what. I mean, that's not certainly what we say, maybe what we think, but it's not what we say. Okay, and when we're talking to them, you need to learn how to promote effectively with your words so that you get people to see, okay, you've done everything humanly possible to get them to the meeting. If they don't come at that point, that's their deal, not yours. But you've done everything possible. You haven't just sent them an email. See, that's the easy way out. The easy way out is send an email or a mass SMS to everybody in your group and say, don't forget the BBS this weekend. It's on Saturday, 1 to 4. That's an easy way out. And trust me, if that worked, here's what you can know about diamonds. We are the hardest working, lazy people you'll ever meet. Okay? If there was an easier way to do anything, we would tell you. Because we like easy ways to do things. Right? If just e-viting everybody or emailing everybody for a home meeting worked, we would do it. We're lazy. If there was, we're hardworking for sure. I mean, we certainly work hard, but if there was an easier way to do anything, we'd tell you about it. And so I promise, and I know you leaders know that in the room, but it takes a personal phone call, and it takes also, remember, getting your people to also make the calls. See, it's not about you making 100 calls in your group to try to get people to buy into getting 5. right? If you can get 10 people to buy into a smaller goal like 5 or 10 at the BDS, then that's a big difference maker. That's how you get multiplying results. Not by you calling all 100 people in the group and hoping you get them there, because you may be able to do that, but not everybody in your group's going to do that. And remember, it's not about what works, it's about what duplicates. So when we talk about those things, I just want you to understand, promoting, you've done a great job by getting 10 to this weekend, and you should give yourselves a round of applause for that, because that's a great first start. I mean, it really is. That's absolutely fantastic that you've been able to do that. And now, of course, your goal is, what are you going to have in March? What are you going to have in March? As you're sitting here throughout the weekend, I hope you'll see for the next regional conference that you absolutely buy into a goal. And then, and here's the key, right? Because I bought into a lot of goals that I never actually did the work to back up. That's a problem. So I had lots of goals where every weekend I would go to when I first started building the business. I was like, I'm going Leaders Club, and then remember, 11 months. I'm going Leaders Club. So I would come out of the weekend all fired up, and then Monday would hit, and I'd go back to my job, and all this stuff would happen, and whatever, and I wouldn't do any work to back it up. I'd go to the next weekend. I was depressed, and I heard who's a double diamond from the U.S. Was saying, had mentioned it this weekend. I'd forgotten she said it, but mentioned it the other day, and it was very poignant. She said, be careful how many goals you say and then don't achieve, because after a while you start to not believe yourself. And I thought, that was so powerful. I've been there. I've been there in my business before, where I've said, and I see it in people in my group, they don't make realistic goals, right? They come out of the weekend, they're a 3%er, and they're like, I'm going to be silver by the next weekend. Okay, that's possible. Right? I mean, it is possible. We've seen people in our group go silver in, 60, 90 days. I mean, it has happened. But the problem with making those outlandish goals and then not backing them up with the work is that after a while, you start to not believe yourself. It's like you're crying wolf. You say, I'm going to go silver, and your brain says, no, you're not. Right? And you do that over and over and over again, and after a while, it just becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You say it, you don't believe it, your upline doesn't believe it, nobody believes it, and then you walk out and you walk back into the next weekend, and after a while, it becomes a vicious cycle that goes over and over and over again. And I would say, now is the time to break the cycle. Now is the time to, coming out of this weekend, to back up whatever goal it is you have, and make it an outlandish one, make it an audacious one, but then back it up with the work. The business is not complicated. It really isn't. I'm not a complicated person. We build the business so simply it would scare most of your leaders here. Okay, we are very, very simple, next step-by-step approach kind of people. And when you become true owners and leaders of your business, it becomes so much easier to do it. Because, the invitation we teach, once somebody knows how to show the plan, you want to know, and this is checkup line. This is not necessarily a valid invitation, okay? So I apologize, but this is one that we use once you've learned how to show the plan. This is going to be a tough one, so you may want to write it down, okay? So, ring, ring. Hello, Bill? Yes? How you doing today? Good. Hey, what are you doing Friday night? Nothing? Great. I got an idea I want to run by. I'll stop by about 7:30. Okay, bye. Okay, I'm going to go over that again. Hello, Bill? Yeah? How's it going? Good. What are you doing Friday night? Nothing? Great. I got an idea I want to run by you. I'll stop by about 7:30. Okay. I'm going to change it up on you a little bit. You guys ready? You may want to write this part down. Okay. Hello, Bill? Yes? How you doing? Good. What are you doing Friday night? Oh, it's Susie's soccer game. Okay, no problem. What are you doing Saturday night? Nothing? Great. I got an idea I want to run by you. I'll stop by about 7:30. Okay, you see that? That is the invitation we've been using, because this only works though if you know how to show the plan. See, if you have to bring your upline, now you got to explain a third person coming over. It's not an idea you're going to run by them. It's an idea somebody else is going to run by them, and so on and so forth. But if you got people on your list, guys, this is not that complicated. Break your list out and let's get started with your real list. I would venture to say everybody in here has never talked to your real list. Most of the people in here, because I didn't. I'm still barely talking to my real list. But if you'll bust it out, here's what I can tell you. The scarier they are, the better their response is going to be. Right? I mean, what I've found is the more scary the person is that I talk to, even their no's are nicer. They are. They say, I don't think this is something I'd be interested in. Instead of, or I don't think this is something I'd be interested in, but boy, it sounds like a good business model. Instead of, that sounds like a scam. I don't think that works. I'm like, you're right. My parents have only made millions of dollars for. Wow. Yeah. Amway's paid out $33 billion in bonuses, but it doesn't work. Yeah, that's brilliant. Okay, but when you talk to people that are below peer, right, those are the no's you tend to get. So I would tell you, the faster you can go to a peer and above, the better this thing's going to be for you. Because it is infinitely better to talk to people whose no's are nicer. See, again, even if they say no, you feel good about it. You're like, yeah, he's right, this is good. And you kind of walk out and you hang your head a little higher, and it's okay. So they said no, but you said no. See, when you say no from somebody who's below peer, it hurts even worse. Now, not only is it a no, but it's a no from somebody who's below your that's wow, that's a swift kick. You can't win either way. If you sign them up, they'll do nothing. And if you don't sign them up, you just got said no to by an amoeba, right? So that is a no-win situation there. Okay, so let's pick up the standing a little bit and get out your real list, make some calls, right, and go to work. Come out of this weekend and get absolutely maniacally focused on the next 4 months. I absolve you of doing anything after that 4 months, but over the next 4 months, put your head down, show a bunch of plans, and do not look up until you get to the next weekend. Don't even look up. Don't look around. Don't wonder what's happening with the results. Don't do any of that, because if you haven't shown 15 plans minimum for 4 months in a row, you won't be getting any results anyway. The first couple of months you do 15 plans. Guys, my first 3-4 months, well, I couldn't even show 15 plans. I couldn't meet enough people, but I showed 33 or 34 some odd plans and got no's across the board. No, right? 30 something times. Until you've had 33 straight no's, don't talk to me. Okay, that's what I always tell my downline. Once you get that many, then we'll chat. But until then, just show the plan and go to work. There's no other secret. It's that once you show enough plans, you'll find enough people. You've got a great, incredible 15-plan culture here in Australia. It is an incredible culture here. It's envied by the world. And I would say, if you want to be a part of the inner circle of what's growing in this business, then you put your head down and you do 15 plans. Not for 1 month, not for 2 months, not for 3 months, but for the next 4 months. Leading up to the next, what did I say? I said the next one's in March. It's actually, when is the next one? February. Okay, thank you. I realize it, huh? Last week, okay. Last weekend of February. So, you put your head down and you work for the next four months or whatever it is, and you will be amazed at the results of what happens when you actually do the work for a consistent period of time, right? Again, forget what's going to happen after the next 4 months and all that. You can make a separate goal at that weekend. But we're all about lighting the path with a pen light here, okay? Jules and I do that. That's what we do for everybody in our group. We don't light the cavern with these big spotlights. We light the path with a pen light. It's take the next step. What are you going to do before the next weekend? What are you going to do before the next weekend? What are you going to do before the next weekend? And if you'll do 15 plans every month, which translates to, 3 plans a week. 3 to 4 plans a week is, would be good. That's a good rhythm to get into. What isn't a good rhythm is to show 7 plans over your first 3.5 weeks and then show 8 plans the last day to the yogurt shop guy. Now, that's good. That's okay, but we don't want to do that too many months in a row. Because those 8 planned days of your dog and cat and chipmunk and whatever don't generally turn into incredible leaders. So, if you get into a little better rhythm of showing plans over the course of the week, we find that tends to work a little better. But we'll take the chipmunk. We're okay with it. I mean, if you're willing to at least show the 8 plans to get in the 15-plan meeting, we're okay with that. It's like buying the 3 atmospheres to get Leaders Club done. It's okay. It's normal. You don't want to do it every month, right? But a month or 2 to make sure you're there is fine. My point is, it's developing habits that lead to success, and that's the main thing, right? Personally sponsoring. You guys have challenges and things to sponsor personally between weekends. Every time we've built a leg and driven a leg, we've done it because we've sponsored 10 or 12 personals down that leg and absolutely got focused on putting personals in from weekend to weekend. 10 to 12 personals. We put them all in a couple of teams and we just drive that thing to the top of the bonus scale. Now, here's the secret. 8 of the 10 did nothing. Nothing, less than nothing. They got in, we never saw them again. Witness protection program. Right? If you think that only happens to your people, it doesn't. It happens to our people all the time. Most of our people disappear. Most of what I do is a complete and utter failure. Sorry, honey. Most of what does is perfect. Most of what I do is a complete and utter failure. If you followed Jules and I around for months on end, you would think nothing works. Now, listen, I know you've heard other leaders up here say that. We're not lying. We're not saying that to make you feel better. Our business is horrible looking. You would think, you guys, how could you even be Leaders Club? Like most of our meetings are no shows. I'm showing the plan to, complete and utter dregs of society most of the time. I mean, people that are telling me no, and I'm thinking, you don't have the luxury of telling me no. Like, How can you tell me no? Do you have a line of people outside your door trying to offer you 50 grand this year? And they're like, oh, I don't know if I'd be willing to do that. I don't want to take advantage of my friends. I'm like, thank you. Thank you for basically carving everything my folks and I have done over our entire lives into taking advantage of our friends. Appreciate it. You are a great, great person. So, we get it too. If you think it doesn't happen to us, you're wrong. Most of our meetings are atrocious. Right? And I try to do things, and that's why I don't want to get up here and talk to you about the good stuff that happens, because the bad stuff that happens is funnier. You don't need to know about the good stuff. We made Founders Diamond, so obviously some good stuff happened, but most of the stuff is bad. And again, I tell these people all the time when we have a new person that has a home meeting, and nobody comes or whatever, and we'll have a few IBOs that are there, and it's a no-show or whatever, and I say, okay, show of hands across the board here, who had a no-show at their first home meeting? And invariably, like 3 of the 4 ELCs and silvers in the room are like, eh. So I go, great, okay? So I'm not just giving you a pep talk. I'm saying most of what we do doesn't work. But the good news is, the stuff that does work makes you so rich and so free that none of the other stuff matters. See, when you sit around with the diamonds, it's not even worth it to discuss. Do you know how many funny stories my parents have? You think we got some funny stories in 5 years? Imagine 40 years. I mean, they trump us every time. Jules and I try to go there. We tell them a funny story of what happened, and they tell us a 50 times funnier one of like 33 drunk people that passed out during their meeting or we're doing... Anyway, I digress. But I've had people fall asleep, and snore so loudly I couldn't talk over them. I had a dog that went to the bathroom 9 times in the middle of the carpet at our meeting. Okay? It was a stray dog they took off the street, went to the bathroom 9 times in the living room. We were staying at that house that night. We were broke, and we were leaders clubs or something, and we were driving up there to do a meeting 4 hours away from the house. The dog took 9 dumps on the floor, okay? So that was not a fun meeting, right? We had, anyway, I go on and on. But that's how most of it is. And you think, wow. It's amazing that we've gotten anywhere, and I'm only here to give you hope to say, look, you just keep showing the plan, you'll be amazed with what happens. I mean, this is not some sort of secret thing or anything like that. It's just, it's core, and it's all we talk about. And everybody has, the same journey. I mean, go listen to any diamond. It's hilarious. I thought I would be the same way. You listen to any diamonds talk or any emeralds talk, and it was never... Right? Never. And I've said this before, but it was never like, well, I don't know, it was the darndest thing. Had a home meeting. My 6 friends came. All of them got in. They went platinum, and I'm a diamond. Woo! And yet, we think that's going to be our story. Who wouldn't get in with me? I just got it through osmosis. I just know how to build Amway. I'm an Amway kid. I was horrible at this thing. I was nervous. My first meeting I ever did, just to give you some hope, my first meeting I ever did, my first group meeting I ever did, was invited. She was my new girlfriend at the time. I think we'd been dating like 3 weeks or something. She invited everybody she knew over to a hotel for me to show the plan, right? In front of all of her friends, her roommates, and all these people that I didn't know. Okay, so my very first plan is in front of my new girlfriend and everybody who's now judging me as her new boyfriend. And I've never shown a plan before. Never. Okay? I've never seen a plan. The first plan I ever saw my dad do, we were emeralds. Emerald. First plan I saw my upline do, we were emeralds. Okay? No, that's not a bad thing for them. I wouldn't have put them through our plans anyway. But what I'm saying is, I was looking through the little flip chart thing, right, and trying to figure out, how do you show this? Like, there was no show the plan DVD or anything, so I'm looking at the panels. And what was great is I was out there, and I'm flying there, and I actually figured out a way to get somebody else who was a local leader in the area, right? I figured out how to get them to show the plan, right? I discovered a way. So I sent him a text and said, hey, would you show the plan tonight? I'm not feeling well. I don't know what I said, whatever. And he said, sure. So then I was thinking, okay, this is great. So I get there to the hotel and had intercepted the guy, and he said, yeah, I'm showing the plan tonight. And she goes, you are not. I invited all my friends to here to show the plan. So she stopped it and put me back on the program. So I get there smugly thinking, I'm not doing the plan today, and he's not showing the plan anymore. I wanted you. My friends really want to see you. And I was like, I'm sure my face got white as a sheet. So there's like 30 people in the room. I've never shown a plan. Okay, Jules, of course, is assuming I'm like
virtually emerald. What kind of a Neanderthal wouldn't be emerald by now, right? I'm like in my late 20s. Okay. So I get up there and I showed the word. She's sweet and married me, so she doesn't say this to me, I'm sure, to somehow keep my manhood or something. But she says it was fine. It was the worst. I was sweating. I actually, at one point, I would hit the PowerPoint thing. I would change the slide, and I'd hit it and go, and the next slide says, right, I'd hit it and then read it, and then turn around and explain what was on the slide. It was horrible. At one point, I actually blamed because I got so stumbled that I actually blamed the PowerPoint that it was in the wrong order. I don't know, this is different than the one I have at home. Wow, this is really weird. It was horrible. Horrible, okay? Nobody got in. I'm sure her friends think I was a loser. I mean, it was absolutely awful. And I think back to that and I go, here's the funny thing about the business though. I was so uncomfortable then, the first time I did it. I'm so comfortable now, right? How many of you have things in your life, right? Driving. Remember the first time you drove? The first time you drive a car, hands at 10 and 2, which way does the blinker go? How do I turn the shift? You have to think about every move you do. Once you've been driving 10 years, you can eat a burrito, text, have an iPhone in, and you're not even paying attention to driving. That's like the least of your concerns. Half of why so many people die every year. It's like, the burrito injury because they're, trying to. And so you don't think about it. You don't get in the car and go, okay, hands at 10 and 2, stop where I can see the tires on the road in front of me. Left blinker is click down, right blinker is click up, right? You don't think about that. You just do it. It's the same thing with the plan. If you're worried about it, your first few plans, here's a secret. Let me let you in on a little secret. They're going to stink. Your first few plans will be horrible. Anybody that signs up, it will be only for pity. But that's okay. I took pity dates when I was in college. I'll take pity signups in Amway now. A date's a date. It's okay. I'm okay with pity dates. It's fine. Right? So you'll take pity signups. Some of our pity signups are good in the business now. So a little secret, if you haven't started showing the plan yet, show it, because you're going to be bad. And after you show it a few times, you'll get better. And when you show it 50 times, you won't even think about it. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're not going to like it. You're going to forget to describe the PV. I showed a plan once. She forgot to explain the points. It was like one of her first plans. She showed the plan. The guy said, well, this is all very interesting, but how does the money work? And she said, I'm glad you asked. That's actually what we explain now. And then she went back and explained how PV goes with the products. The guy signed up. Pity, I'm sure, but who cares? Right? The point is they're going to be really bad, but we all do things in our lives all the time at work and other places that are uncomfortable until we become good at them. Right? I'll give you an example. My parents bought Jules and I a pool table for our downstairs entertainment area, a big pool table for Christmas. And the guys came to put it together. Right? They came out to the house to put the thing together. And it's this big, like tournament size billiard table. Right? And so the thing weighs like a zillion pounds and it comes in like 58 different boxes. And they come into the house and I'm thinking, it's going to take these guys like a year to put this thing together. They were carrying boxes down for like 25 minutes, bringing the stuff down to the basement area and carrying it one down after the other. And it was, just two guys were down there. And I'm thinking, wow. So I said, man, that seems like a lot of work. I'll go upstairs and do you guys want something to drink? So I went upstairs to get them in excess. And I was going to come back downstairs and bring it to them. I got a phone call while I was upstairs. Right? And I got a phone call while I was upstairs. And so I talked for about, 5-8 minutes, something like that, to somebody in my group, grabbed a couple of excess, went downstairs. The table was put together. It was done already. I thought it was going to take them all day. It took them like 10 minutes, 9 minutes, something like that. And so I asked the guy, I said, wow, that was really fast. He said, yeah, well, we get paid by the table. And I said, okay. So the wheels are starting to turn now. And I said, well, how long did it take you to put your first one together? He said, a day and a half. I thought, well, that's unfortunate, right? That would be really little money. But here's the thing. He goes, yeah, after we did it about 20 times, we got it down to a science. Now we do it in about 10 minutes. All that, this is not like a brilliant point. What I'm saying is we all have things that we're not good at when we first do them. You get better at them, and once you do, right? We do things at our job all the time
that are uncomfortable. Jules and I saw this poor guy, right? Yesterday, we were going down to get a coffee down on the rocks, right? Down by the Park Hyatt. We're going down to get a coffee, and we asked this guy if we could get a coffee, and it was his first day on the job. He'd been there for about 15 minutes. Literally, he said, well, I've only been here about half an hour, and he's standing there, and Jules, bless her heart, ordered a iced vanilla decaf latte with, whatever. The guy's like, his eyes crossed, and he was like, oh, dear God. Anyway, I'm sure, I just wanted a coffee. She's like, yeah, I'll take an iced vanilla decaf latte, extra. Okay. And so he's poking around on the thing and trying to figure it out, and I can see he's like sweating. He's trying to figure out the thing, and so he asked for help. And of course, there was a French waiter that was there, and he asked this guy for help, and the guy was like, basically, he said, hey, could you help me with this? He goes, no. And then he walked away, and I'm like, wow, there's a nice coworker. No, with an accent. No, French accent. And so he asked the manager, and he said, I was just trying to figure it out. I was just trying to be brave. And she goes, don't be brave on your first day. Get out of the way. And she goes in and does the stuff and whatever. And Jules and I walked away going, see, that's exactly the point. See, we go through that kind of discomfort all the time at work, but it's because we have to. The problem with our business is it's voluntary discomfort. That's the problem, right? The problem is you have to volunteer. See, that guy didn't have a choice. He could quit his job, but then he won't eat. You can quit Amway and your cousin will be like, told you, but that's it. Right? And so, that's the thing is that you got no stake in the game. And so if you decide to quit, it's not a big deal. Here, what I'm saying is you're going to go through discomfort anywhere. There's warts on anything, any career, any job, anything you have to learn, you eventually get good at. And after a while, you do your job without even thinking about it. Those of you who work retail can work the cash register with your eyes closed. And I'm just saying, people do that all the time. It just doesn't lead them where they want to go. That's the problem. This does. You learn one simple little 10-page flip chart and one little 20 to 30-minute presentation that can make you rich and free for the rest of your life, and we still don't do it. And I would encourage you to master it. If you come out of here and you get good at showing the plan and then you master the startup, and that's it. That's Amway, the plan, the startup, a home meeting, the plan, the startup. It's not complicated. It's the same thing as everything else you've learned in your life. It's just the difference is for us, this led us where we wanted to go. We didn't wake up in 20 years ago, oh my gosh, what did we get good at? Right? We woke up and said, thank God we got good at this. And for us, it was so much more important to be able to say, that I'm, and I know this is cliche a bit, but it's so true in our lives that we're so glad we can say, I'm glad we did instead of I wish we had. As we've had our kids now and they're young and we can travel with them, we can spend time with them and do all those things, we could be just starting the business now. My parents, my mom has always said to dig the well before you need the water. But then I would add to that, if you need the water now, start digging, baby. Right? It doesn't matter if you're right? If you already got kids, all the more reason to build it. All the more reason to start digging. It would be great if you could foresee what's going to happen and dig the well before you need the water. But a lot of people right now need the water. So if you start digging now, it's still better to have it in a year than never. Right? Even if you have small kids, make them the reason, not the excuse. Right? Make your kids the reason, not the excuse. Make your job the reason, not the excuse. Make your age the reason, not the excuse. All those things can become either one with just a change in attitude. And for us, we've built the business single, we've built the business married, we've built the business with kids. Every level we reach. Platinum is singles, Sapphire is engaged, Emerald is married, Founders Emerald with 1 kid, Founders Diamond with 2 kids. We got it. We had kids just so we could prove to everybody that we could build the business with kids. And because we love them. And because we need them to travel with us. But it's true, isn't it funny how we always try to find the reason why somebody else is growing and we're not? It's the fact that they don't have kids or they do. It's the fact that they're married or they're not. It's the fact that they're older or they're younger. It's the fact that they're richer or they're poorer. It's the fact that they need it more or they don't need it. Right? It's always whatever reason we don't have. It was for me anyway. I always looked around at all these people that were growing and I said, oh, it's because they're older. I'm young. Who would listen to me? Right? Or I said, oh, it's because they already have a successful job. I was only working at a restaurant. They wouldn't, why would they listen to me? I'm not financially free. Or, oh, it's because, they're married, so they have a spouse to lean on. Oh, it's because they have kids, so they identify with other people with kids. No, it was because I didn't work. Amazingly, when I started working and I followed the system and I actually, it started to grow. Showed the plan. Right? And then I listened to the CDs. I thought I didn't need the CDs. I'd heard the CDs my whole life. Right? I'd heard them forever. I heard them live. I heard them on CD. I heard them with, phone calls I would get from various leaders around the world. I knew the CDs. And I thought I didn't need the CDs. And when I wasn't listening to the CDs and they were wrapped in the cellophane, propping up my television, amazingly enough, I didn't grow. And then this really weird thing happened. I thought, they talk about those CDs an awful lot. Maybe I should listen to them. I started listening to the CDs, 1, 2, 3 a day. Right? And don't think you don't have time for it. You have time for it. Okay, I can tell you, I'll be honest with you. Working out, okay, I decided I needed to lose some weight, and it was really unfortunate. I always said I was going to lose weight at Diamond. Then Diamond got here, and I went, oh, crap, now I have to lose weight. So it always seemed so far away. I'm like, at Diamond, I'm going to lose weight. At Diamond, I'm going to lose weight. And then we made Diamond, and I was like, uh-oh. So, like so many things, though, I felt like, you have no idea. I travel so much. I'm not going to have time, right? Because I travel a lot. I'm always eating late at night, so I'm not going to have time to work out. I had all these rationalizations in my mind for why I wasn't doing it. And amazingly enough, once I started and actually started working out, you find the time. I didn't think I had time to listen to CDs 2 or 3 a day, but you have time. You put them on when you're getting ready in the morning. You put them on when you drive to work. You put them on when you're working out. You put them on when you have time. Right, but if you'll actually listen to the CDs and dig in and learn the plan, you can do that special invite. Remember, hello, Bill. Okay, got that? It'll be on the CD later. It's a very difficult, intricate invitation. But just invite the heck out of everybody moving, and who cares what they say? I want that to be your mantra. Who cares? Okay? Who cares? So they say no. Ooh, you're not going to die. Right? If they decide they don't want to get an Amway, you move on. You know how many girls I asked out that rejected me? I didn't die. I still got married. Thank God the other ones rejected me. Right? I married my best friend and the most beautiful girl in the world and whatever. So it still works out. But I approached Amway the same way. Talk to everybody. Let them decide. Get some guts. Get some posture. Talk to everybody. Who cares what they say? Seriously, I really want you to feel that way. When you show the plan to people and they decide they don't want to do it, you say, who cares? And you move on. Because it really doesn't matter. Most of them will come back around. They may get in. You stick with this thing long enough and you make money from this thing, they'll come around. They will. Even if they don't get in with you, they'll still come around enough to go, wow, that was, actually what they'll say is, well, he got lucky, or whatever. You still never get the vindication from that. But again, who cares? You're rich and free, they're not. But if you will dig in and really find your guts coming out of this weekend, make the calls while you're here, while you're feeling bulletproof, right? That's the key. Okay, that's what Jules and I always did. Before we left the weekend, we would make the calls. Not on Monday, not on Tuesday, not when you're getting home, but here you set up plans for next week. You know what happens Monday? You go, I can't believe I set that up. But now it's already set up, so you're not going to cancel. Right? It's true. I used to have to do that to myself. I would set deadlines while I was feeling bulletproof, here at the weekend. Then I'd get home, I'd second guess it, but I was stuck already. Because I had already had the thing set up. So I would tell you to do the same thing. While you're here, while you're feeling bulletproof and you think, okay, Dave's right. Who cares what they say? I'm going to talk to the peer and above people. I'm going to set up some plans. Go set up for yourself a plan Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week that you cannot cancel when you get home. And that'll start you off on the right foot for this week. You got 3 plans for this week, you do 3 more the next week, and 3 more the next week, and you move on. And with a consistent effort over a consistent period of time, you will be shocked and amazed at what your business looks like in February at the next regional conference. Shocked and amazed. We're going to talk a little bit later about some of the other things to do before the conference, but I'm just telling those of you that are here in the room, those of you that cared enough to do 10 plus or to be Leaders Club to be here, you're the ones we want to dig in with. You're the ones who've cared enough or tried hard enough to at least get in this room. That means you care enough to listen and apply what I'm talking about. And so I would tell you, I would plead with you, if you've never shown 15 plans before, or if you have and you haven't for a while or whatever, or you did last month and you have every month for the last 5 or 8, do it for the next 4 months. Do it for the next 4 months. Learn that little 10-page thing that will become so second nature that you just pull the string and the plan comes out. Right? And once it becomes like that, you're not nervous anymore. You're not nervous. It's the same thing every time. You sit down, you repeat the plan, you hand them a form, they sign up or they don't sign up, you move on. When you got enough plans set up for the week, guess how much you care whether they get in or not. At the end of the plan, you're like, look, dude, I got another plan like 9-10 minutes, so you in or not? I mean, I'm good either way, but when you show 4 plans a month, you have to take them out to flipping dinner to you're like, with getting an Amway. Is there anything I can come over to your house? Here's 43 CDs. Let me, can I buy you a bottle of wine perhaps? Maybe my wife can come clean your apartment. I mean, Right? When you got 4 plans a month, it's like your whole business depends on those 4 people. When you got 3 plans in a day, you don't care. And people sign up like crazy. That's why people signed up with Jules and I. We weren't good. We were just moving fast. You know how fast I talk. Imagine how fast I build. Right? So when we were sitting down and showing people the plan, it's like, I'd get done with this 500 mile an hour plan, I'd hand them the form. I don't even think they know what I said, but I'd hand them the form and say, look, dude, you in or out? Because I got another plan in 9 minutes. I guess I'm in. Okay, great. Here's the form. I'll be over to do a startup tomorrow. Bye. That's it. And I'd encourage you to be the same way. 4 plans a month, not fun. It's like working out twice a month. You do enough to be sore. It's true, right? You work out twice a month, you are only sore. It has zero medicinal benefit. All it does is tear up your muscles, make you sore, and make you not want to do it again. Same thing with the plan. 2 plans a month, just do none. Sorry, uplines. But, seriously. I mean, you're not going to get anyone in. And the plans you do show, they're going to feel sorry for you. Right? I mean, at least if you're moving fast and showing a bunch of plans, you've got a posture and a way about you where, 8 plans is harder than 15, and 15 is way harder than 30. I got to tell you. But let's start with 15. That's enough to grow. 15 is enough to grow. Actual 15 plans a month, right? I mean, if you can get into those 15 planner meetings and you'll actually do that, you will be shocked by what you find. And I would say, don't do 4, don't do enough just to be sore, but do enough to grow. And you'll hear from me a little bit later. Thanks, guys.